Hashtag true. Hashtag true. Ugh, get out. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Weekly Fangirl. Truly distressing news this week. We have found out that Kate Basinger has been announced as one of the new cast members for 50 Shades Darker, the really unnecessary sequel to 50 Shades of Grey. And why? You're better than that! And speaking of Twilight byproducts we really didn't need, segue. It is time once again for another Fangirl Reads as we continue to delve into this wonderful, horrible series that we've started on Life and Death Twilight Reimagined. When we last left our hero, he was having his life saved from a car crash by a girl who's a vampire. Chapter 4. Found myself the center of attention for the rest of the week, which really sucked. Taylor Crowley was super annoying. Taylor, for those of you that forgot, because I know I did, is the girl who nearly ran over him with her van in the last chapter. Starts following him around between class and sitting at his lunch table with his friends and all that. The other girls, Michaela and Erica, they don't seem to like it, not one little bit. What's hilarious, though, is that nobody cares about Edith, even though she was right there in the middle of it all, too. They just avoid her like everybody always avoids the Cullens. It bothers Beau, and he knows that it's not healthy. I wondered a lot why no one else had noticed her standing so far away by her car before she was so suddenly and impossibly saving my life. There was only one solution I could think of, and I didn't like it. No one else was so aware of Edith. No one watched her the way I did. It was pathetic and kind of stalkerish. Kind of? Obviously, he's still obsessed with her. This kid's got it bad, man, and not in a good way. You know, as if there's a good way to be obsessed with somebody. What? I wanted very much to continue our conversation in the hospital hallway, and the day after the accident I tried. This is his attempt at trying to talk to her. Hey, Edith! She turned her head half an inch toward me, but her eyes stayed focused on the blackboard. Blackboard? When was this book written? 1998? She gave me one little nod, then turned her face away from me. That was the last contact I'd had with her. I watched her sometimes, unable to stop myself. Always from a distance, though. Yep, definitely a stalker. Oh yeah, no, I forgot to mention, he's also been dreaming about her this whole time. I guess stalker is as stalker does, because while he's stalking Edith, there's like 3 other girls that are stalking him. Kayla, at least, was pleased by the obvious coolness between my lab partner and me. I guess she had been worried that the shared trauma would have bonded us or something. There wasn't any shared trauma, was there? You hit your head, she pulled you out of the way of a car, and then she pretended you were, you know, invisible for the last week. I got more confident, sitting on the edge of my table to talk before biology started, ignoring Edith completely as Edith ignored us. Just faded. It goes from a couple days to a couple weeks, and suddenly it's over a month after the accident, and Beau suddenly finds himself in the midst of a predicament because of said female stalkers, because the school's spring dance is on its way. Beau doesn't realize what's going on until one of the guy friends that he somehow has comes up to him one day after lunch, and Jeremy. So, the gender bent Jessica. I think we talked about him earlier. I was wondering if anybody's asked you to the spring dance yet. You know, it's girls' choice. No. Do you think Michaela will ask you? Hope not. I said maybe a little too fast. Dick. Looked up at me, surprised. Why not? I don't do dances. Oh, you're so pretentious. Oh no, wait, no, he's just awkward. Trying to do the Cupid shuffle would result in him, like, killing 5 people. Jeremy's just like, oh, well, do you mind if I tell her that? I was like, oh no, I don't mind. It's probably a good idea. I don't want to have to tell anyone no if I don't have to. Okay. That does not go to plan, not even a little bit, because the next day, he's sure that Jeremy has said something to Michaela because, you know, she's really quiet. Then she comes to him after lunch in biology and she's just like, so, Jeremy said you don't do dances. Yeah, that's true. Looked at me then, her expression hurt and more than a little angry. I hadn't even told her no and I already felt guilty. Well, I mean, there's no reason for guilt, you know, you don't want to go to the dance, you don't have to go. So she's just like, oh, I thought he might have been making it up. And, oh, I think he wants me to ask him. You should, Jeremy's great. She shrugged. I guess. Ow! God, the people in this book really know how to throw some shade. These kids are mean. Would this whole I don't dance thing change if I was the one asking you? Sorry, again, no. Rejected by Beau Swan. You got no game, Michaela, no chance. Would it change if someone else was asking you? Well, let it go! He's not going with you! And so he's making up this story that, he's going to Seattle that day, same as Bella in the original, as per friggin' usual. Does it have to be that weekend, Michaela asked? Again, Bitch, let it go. He's not going. You have options. What's the deal with Beau? Is he just like catnip for desperate girls? What the hell even? He's telling her, no, you should definitely take Jeremy. He's more fun than me. Yeah, he is, because he actually has self-esteem and he's not down on himself, unlike this kid who's like a walking wet blanket. He feels so bad, but then Edith, she's been listening this whole time, by the way. She's been sitting right there. Michaela's been ignoring her. Beau's been more focused on Michaela than Edith for once. He turns to face the board and Edith is just staring at him and she looks all frustrated. She's not saying a word. She's just staring at him. Like, it's so creepy. So he stares back. He's surprised. He's expecting her to look away, and she doesn't. She just continues to just stare like she's trying to see into his soul. His hands are starting to shake. He's all creeped out. He finally looks at him for the first time in over a month, and suddenly, like, his heart's all aflutter. He's thinking to himself, he's like, this isn't healthy. It's not normal. I shouldn't feel this way because she's finally looked at me for the first time in 6 weeks. Because this whole time, like he said, she's been ignoring him. She's letting this kid say that his stalkerish behavior is unhealthy does not excuse it being unhealthy. It's still wrong. Class is over with, and all of a sudden she just speaks up out of nowhere, again, for the first time in over a month, and again, it completely takes him by surprise. He just says, Beau? Doesn't know how to react. He's just like, yes? And she just stares at him. So, are you not talking to me again? Not, she said, but her lips curled up into a smile, her dimples flashing. That's cute. Okay. ... Yeah, she's not talking to him. She's just gonna stand there and smile at him like a freak. I looked away. It was hard to concentrate when I looked at her, and this conversation wasn't making much sense. I'm sorry, she said, and there was no joke in her voice now. I'm being very rude, I know, but it's better this way, really. I don't know what you mean. It's better if we're not friends, trust me. My eyes narrowed. I'd heard that one before. Meaning what? She seemed surprised by my reaction. What are you thinking? She asked. I guess that it's too bad you didn't figure this out earlier. Save yourself the regret. Regret? My answer seemed to have caught her off guard. Regret for what? For not letting Taylor's van crush me when it had the chance. Okay, again, what is the deal with this kid's complete and utter lack of self-esteem and sense of self-preservation in this case? I mean, does he... I almost feel like he has a death wish, and that really makes me mad. Why? Okay, you're miserable in this town. True, fair, but you chose to be there. You could have stayed with your mom in Phoenix where you were happy and somewhat, you know, integrated in society. You had friends there. You had something of a life there. Now you're the new kid at this school and in a town that you hate, but you did that to yourself. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Every problem this kid has was self-inflicted. And I'm not the only one who's mad either, because as soon as he says this, Edith is like, she goes from like shocked to horrified to really, really pissed off. She's as mad as I am because she doesn't understand it either. You think I regret saving your life? Yeah, I said, just as quietly. I mean, what else? It seems kind of obvious. She actually like hisses at him. She's so mad. She's like, you're an idiot. Well, that's my limit. It was bad enough I was so fixated on this girl. Bad enough that I thought about her all the time, dreamed about her every night. I didn't need to sit here like the moron she thought I was and just stare while she insulted me. I don't need to take this crap! So he grabs his things in a huff, and he storms out of the classroom, and in typical Beau fashion, he trips over his own feet out the door, drops his books, his stuff goes flying everywhere. The next thing he knows, Edith is there trying to help him pick up his books, and she's still mad, and he's still mad, and he's just like, he just takes his books from her, he's like, thanks. She's just as angry. You're welcome. These kids are both idiots. So he goes through the rest of his day. School day's over. He's out in the parking lot about to leave. And he gets caught up by another one of his fan club, Erica. Of course, we know what she wants. Hi, Beau. I was wondering if you would go to the spring dance with me? He doesn't even look at her when he answers, too. But he's in the middle of unlocking his truck. And he's just like, sorry, Erica, I'm not going to the dance. Oh, okay. And the funny thing is that he could have just left it at that. He could have been just free and clear. You reject the girl, fine, good, clean break. You get in your car, you drive home. But no, Beau continues to be a moron and he thinks that explaining the situation will like soften the blow when like I know, and I think most of you know, that trying to soften the blow usually just gives the rejected person unnecessary amounts of hope that they didn't need and you didn't really want to give them. But he does it anyway because he doesn't know any better, because he thinks he's being awesome, but he's really just being a dick to himself. So she looks up and she's just like, oh, okay, oh, maybe next time. And he immediately regrets it. And he's like, sure. Shit! He's like, well crap, now another one. And then he hears laughter, and he looks over his shoulder, and Edith is across the lot by her car, laughing at him. She heard that conversation, apparently. So he gets in his car, he's about to leave, and he gets stopped in traffic. Edith pulls out in front of him, and he gets caught in traffic on the way out of the parking lot. And then Taylor, the girl who's been badgering him with apologies and offers to make up for nearly killing him in the last chapter, pulls up next to him, right? She, like, honks her horn at him to get his attention or something. It's like, sorry, I can't move. Edith's got me pulled in. She's like, oh, yeah, no, I know. I just wanted to ask you something while we're trapped here. Will you go to the spring dance with me? I'm not gonna be in town, Taylor. I realized I sounded too sharp. I had to remember it wasn't Taylor's fault that Michaela and Erica had already used up my patience for the day. Quota of patience. Oh yeah, Michaela told me that. I was hoping you were just letting her down easy. What a bitch. Okay, it was totally her fault. Sorry, Taylor, I said, not feeling nearly as bad as I had with Michaela and Erica. I'm not going to the dance. Oh, that's cool, she says. We still have prom. Before I could say anything, she was walking back to her car. Okay, the girls in this book are just as bad as the guys. Everybody in this book is either oblivious, ridiculously clumsy, or just an asshole to themselves and other people. There's nobody really likable in this book, except, not even Edith, really, because she's getting off on this. While he's rejecting Taylor, and Taylor is, like, confusing Beau with her complete lack of giving a fuck, Edith is in the car in front of them, laughing her ass off. She's listening to this the whole time because, you know, vampires, super hearing. She can hear what's going on. She did it on purpose just so that Beau would be in this awkward situation. He's embarrassed. Taylor's still confident, still riding on a high even though she got turned down. And Edith is dying laughing. What a bitch indeed. So the next day, Beau's showing up at school and parking as far as he possibly can from the shiny silver Volvo, which is Edith's, because he knows, you know, she had to have done that on purpose, and he's like, fine, you know what, you want to do that, you want to play it that way, I will keep my distance, you don't gotta worry about anything. But then, for some reason, he's walking away from his truck and she's just there, just suddenly there behind him again. It pops up out of nowhere like a freaking daisy. How do you do that? I gasped. What? She asked. She holds out his key to him because he, of course, drops his keys in his shock that she's just there. How do you appear out of thin air? Beau, it's not my fault you're exceptionally unobservant. How was I supposed to ignore her when she wouldn't ignore me? That was what she wanted, right? Me, out of her long, bronzy hair? Why was she talking to me? Was she sadistic? Was this her idea of fun? Torture the idiotic kid who she could never possibly care about? Yeah. Honestly? Seriously, why is she bothering with him? This boy means literally nothing to you. And why are you so obsessed with this girl in the first place, Beau? You don't even know her! God! So he's all frustrated and he decides to ask, you know, what was the deal with the traffic jam yesterday? I thought you were supposed to be pretending I don't exist. She's just like, oh yeah, that was for Taylor. I knew she wanted to ask you. And he's confused. He's like, what, are you guys friends or something? And she just continues on like he isn't even talking. I'm not pretending you don't exist. He's just looking at her, trying to figure her out, and he's just like, I don't know what you want from me. Nothing, she said too quickly, almost like she was lying. Then you probably should have just let the van take me out. Easier that way. How many times is that in this chapter alone that this kid is telling this girl that saved his life she would have been better off just letting him die? That's what, at least the 4th time in this chapter alone, right? Beau, you are utterly absurd, she says. I must be right about the torture thing. I was just a way for her to pass the time in this boring town. He starts walking past her and she's like, wait, I wanted to ask you something. He turns around, he's like, fine, what do you want? I was wondering if a week from Saturday, you know, the day of the dance, and then he stops her. He's like, is this funny to you? He looks at him and she's smiling, her cute dimpled smile of perfection. Just like, will you please allow me to finish? His brain tells him walk away. His dick tells him stay where you are. Which one do you think he listens to? I heard that you were going to Seattle that day, and I wondered if you wanted a ride. That was not what he was expecting at all. He looks at her, he's just like, with who? Myself, obviously. Which is, she enunciated every syllable like she thought maybe English wasn't my first language. Why? Oh no, she goes for the low blow. Honestly, I'm not sure if your truck can make it. That gets him to walk away. He's like, you know what? Make fun of me all you want, but leave the truck out of it. She continues to pursue him anyway. She's just like, can your truck really make it to Seattle on 1 tank of gas? I don't see how that's your problem, he tells her. The wasting of finite resources is everyone's problem. Hippie. The climate change is a big deal, sorry. He rounds on her again. He's like, seriously, Edith? I can't keep up with you. I thought you didn't want to be my friend. I said it would be better if we weren't friends, not that I didn't want to be. God, Why is she so vague? Why don't you just tell him the truth? He already knows you're like a borderline superhero. He knows you're faster than a speeding bullet. Just be honest anyway. It doesn't matter anymore. It would be more prudent if you were not my friend. But I'm tired of trying to stay away from you, Beau. Will you accept a ride to Seattle? She demanded, her voice still burning. I couldn't speak, so I just nodded. You really should stay away from me, she warned. I'll see you in class. So just like in the original, just as always, she's just saying vague things to Beau to confuse him the same way Edward did to Bella. And it just, I don't know why. I don't know why she isn't just upfront with him. She could just say it. It's not like, I mean, she was right in the last chapter. It's not like anybody's gonna believe him anyway. And it's not like he's gonna tell anybody she's a vampire. Just tell him. Tell him anything. This kid will believe anything at this point. Okay, so that is the end of the chapter. Main points: Beau has self-esteem issues, possibly suicidal, has a gaggle of female stalkers, and one girl in particular who either hates him, loves him, or is indifferent, and he doesn't know what to do with her, and oh, he's stalking her in return. Just a complete and total shitfest all around. I don't know what else to say about this book anymore. I'm getting very, very frustrated. So that is the end of chapter 4. Chapter 5 will be coming in 2 weeks. Next week we'll do a video that doesn't make me want to throw the book out the window. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up down below. Leave me a comment, tell me what you thought. Subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I make new ones every Sunday. And until next time, I've been Miranda. This has been the Weekly Fangirl. And just a public service announcement. Read books that don't make you want to throw them out the window. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.